The New York Times has reported that 2 pilots are dead after jet and fire truck collide at LaGuardia Airport. The pilots of an Air Canada Express plane were killed and dozens of passengers and crew members were hospitalized, officials said. The airport was closed until at least 2 p.m., and hundreds of flights were canceled. The crash occurred when an Air Canada jet landing on Sunday collided with a Port Authority fire truck that had been responding to a separate incident. Investigators were working on Monday morning to determine the cause of the accident, which killed the plane's pilots. It appeared to be the first fatal accident at LaGuardia since 1992. The disruption was expected to ripple across the region and the nation at the start of the workweek, with hundreds of flights canceled as of Monday morning. New York City officials urged drivers to avoid the area around LaGuardia, warning of road closures and traffic delays. A recording of audio from the air traffic tower, which was verified by the New York Times, indicated that the controllers may have been distracted by an earlier incident at the airport at the time of the accident on Sunday. It was unclear to what they were referring. 41 passengers and crew members were taken to the hospital. Catherine Garcia, the executive director of the airport operator, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, said at a news conference early Monday. She said that 32 of them had been released and that some of the others had been seriously injured. 2 officers in the fire truck were among those hospitalized and were in stable condition, Ms. Garcia said. The truck was responding to a call from another aircraft whose pilot had reported an issue with odor in the cabin, she said. The collision, which occurred at around 11:40 p.m. Sunday, involved Air Canada Express Flight 8646, which had departed from Montreal and landed at LaGuardia late Sunday. The CRJ 900 jet was operated by Jazz Aviation LP, which said in a statement that a preliminary passenger list indicated the flight was carrying 72 passengers and 4 crew members. The Federal Aviation Administration first issued a ground stop at LaGuardia early Monday as emergency crews swarmed the damaged jet on a runway. A New York Times journalist saw police vehicles and fire trucks next to a white Air Canada Express plane with a sheared-off nose. A damaged truck lay on its side nearby. LaGuardia, one of 3 major airports serving the New York City area, is a critical hub for the busy Northeast Corridor, with nearly 900 departures and arrivals each day, according to the Port Authority. About half the flights to and from LaGuardia are for Delta Air Lines, which said on Monday that it had canceled flights through the afternoon and that more cancellations could follow. The closure of LaGuardia added to airport disruptions in the United States linked to a partial government shutdown. Some inbound flights were diverted to John F. Kennedy International Airport in Queens, New York, where travelers waited in line for flights on Monday morning. The closure of LaGuardia added to airport disruptions in the United States linked to a partial government shutdown. Some inbound flights were diverted to John F. Kennedy International Airport in Queens, New York, where travelers waited in line for flights on Monday morning. After the FAA issued a ground stop early Monday, airlines canceled all scheduled flights through Monday afternoon. More than 500 flights have been affected as of Monday morning. Even after the airport reopens, more flights could be canceled and delayed as airlines grapple with the backlog of passengers. The flight disruptions will mostly affect regional and domestic travelers, since the Port Authority limits flights from LaGuardia to a 1,500-mile radius, which covers destinations on the East Coast, Canada, and the central United States. It is not clear when it will reopen. The FAA said LaGuardia would be closed until at least 2 p.m. Eastern, with a high probability of an extension to allow for a thorough investigation. The Port Authority has urged people not to travel to the airport as access is limited to emergency staff and investigators responding to the incident. Airlines have urged passengers to manage their bookings digitally. Most major airlines will automatically rebook passengers on the next available flight, but passengers can also reschedule their flight without paying a change fee. Each airline has specific travel waiver rules, so it's best to check through their app or website. Yes, under the U.S. Department of Transportation regulations, you are entitled to a full refund if an airline cancels your flight for any reason, including an airport closure. Domestic flights delayed by more than 3 hours are also eligible for a refund if the passenger chooses not to travel. Would like to send condolences to all the family of those who lost their lives and a speedy recovery for those who are still injured during that terrible accident. May those who lost their lives in that tragedy rest in peace. Traveling in any vessel can be risky. Be alert, aware, and plan ahead on your trips. My name is Larry. Thanks for watching Travel for Yourself channel. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you on the next one.